I'm Randy Reed with the EdisonReport, and I am here with Bill Hanley, the Executive Vice President of IES, and we are here in his office at 120 Wall Street. Bill, when did you start with IES?
I started December 8th, 1988.
88.
So it'll be this year, come to it'll be 2024 would be finished this year, this December.
And
so then we'll move on to 25.
And then 25 more after that.
Oh,
right?
I wouldn't go that far, but anyway.
But you're in good health. You're going to be here a while. You're not going anywhere.
No.
When you got here in 88, now
Right.
the way I understand it, the society was flush with cash and all the reserves were full.
Come on. No, there was no. They really were desperate in terms of money. You know, it took a long while. And the people who were there, the presidents, Roger Knott, etc. And then Roger said later, maybe 6 months later, he said, I have to apologize because I didn't know.
How bad it was.
Yes. Yeah, we did struggle quite a bit. But we survived.
What were dues back then? Any idea?
Oh, I don't even remember. It was minimal. It might have been 100 by then. You know,
Okay.
but I mean, it's been 7 years now since we had the 170, and we haven't added any funds
Right.
for that. But it was a difficult time because if you have no money and you need money, for instance, LD plus A, the printers would say, no, I have to get paid. You can't, do it for nothing. It's a third time that you're doing LD plus A, and they say you got to pay the first two.
Okay.
And there was some money there.
So how did it turn around?
How did we turn around?
Did you raise dues? I mean, I know Lightfair came, but that was later.
That came later. And in fact, when Lightfair started, each of the three of us who were part of Lightfair, we lost $93,000 the first year. And I paid it. Not me personally, but IES paid it.
Okay. That had to hurt.
Yes, because we were hurting in terms of, but that was necessary. The following year, we each made $23,000.
Okay.
And
So you're still.
we're on the road. We're on the road. That was what that was all about. But we survived. We survived with, and for instance, even Bruce, when Lightfair, we were going to.
Bruce sold the treasurer.
Yes, and he was saying, well, you can't do that. You can't spend the money. I said, we have to go. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, because if we're going to do anything with Lightfair, we have to have a presence. And we weren't using a lot of people, but you had to do things.
Right.
And I'd say, don't worry, Bruce. It's all going to fit together. And basically, it worked that way.
Now, Lightfair came out of Lighting World. Is that right?
That was, it wasn't out of it. It was a total new thing.
Okay.
Yes.
But Lighting World was the show that had been around a few years.
Yes, right.
And the way I remember it, everyone said, well, we want to support this Lightfair because IES is involved and we want to support our industry.
Yes.
That's why we chose Lightfair.
Right. Well, we had a problem because IES, we said we're not participating anymore.
In Lighting World.
In Lighting World. Yes. Now, we were getting some funds for that, but we really weren't doing anything. Not the way we started with Lightfair.
Okay.
So
why would you stop that if you were getting money from it?
It was a minimal amount of money.
Okay.
We didn't have too much of a say.
Okay.
You might have twice you talk about them, what
I
they're
see.
doing, but it wasn't an IES or an ILD So the ILD, not the ILD, but the Atlanta group,
AMC.
the AMC said, "Let's go, let's do it," and we did it.
Okay. And then was it always a partnership?
Always.
A third.
Oh, right, from the very beginning.
Okay. And has it exceeded your wildest expectations?
You bet. You bet. You know, even if we got, and we started out, you know, as I say, 23,000, and then maybe you got, 250,000, and it moved up, because it got more and more successful, and that's
Right.
what it was all about.
Right. There's nothing stale about Light Fair. They keep changing it, and
Right.
they keep making it better.
Right.
What are some of the challenges facing the society today?
Today, well, I really have to say, for the most part, we're doing quite well. I think we're doing quite well financially, and financially we are allowed, and when we act more and more, we'll publish more materials, we'll publish more educational work.
Fund more research?
Yes, and we will be doing more research. So, I mean, we have significant funds, you know, that more of it can be used.
Okay.
Now, I think that, you know, if we go back 24 years to now, excuse me, it's quite a different place.
Light Fair is going to be in San Diego in 2016.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about that decision process?
Well, for some reason, and I still didn't get all the information about what was happening with Las Vegas. And basically it was Las Vegas who said they didn't have the space for us. So then we said, because they were saying, you know, there's only about 5 or 6 places that we could really do.
Because of our size now.
Because of the size, right. So we've moved ahead. Now, I don't know what we'll do after. I think what we have to do, and we've done this before, even with Philadelphia, with San Diego, if it's great, and we might keep it. If not, we might go back to Las Vegas.
Originally, Light Fair was New York and San Francisco.
And now there were 3.
Excuse me, and Chicago.
And Chicago.
And the decision was made to not do Chicago.
Right.
Then,
and because we did it twice, and they weren't that successful.
Right. And then the San Francisco show moved to Las Vegas.
Yes.
And then the New York event has moved to Philadelphia.
Right.
My question to you is, which one of those was the toughest decision politically, the hardest one to sell?
I think each time you made a change, people were somewhat reluctant. Yes, but I think when people get there, I mean, people loved Philadelphia. There was a good number of people who said they didn't want it. They wanted to be in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, they really worked well. And I think it's important to be able to go to another place, because Javits is not big enough.
Because you have to split everybody up.
You split them up. All right, you've got space up there, and then you've got the basement. And I think there's only 12 feet in that.
Really?
In the bottom. So I don't think it's necessarily a plus. I mean, we worked with them for years, and I'm not arguing about those. But I think there are times when you say things are changing. Las Vegas to San Diego, you know, we do it.
Right. This is the 10th edition of the handbook.
Yes, right.
And
And this is the 3rd that I've been part of.
Okay.
It takes a while, but we certainly wanted to make some changes. This wasn't something that we really thought we were doing, you know. And at one point I had to call and say, enough is enough, you know. This weighs a ton. Yeah, I kept measuring it, and weighing how many we had. But I think of those three, and I was glad we started with Mark Ray. And
on the
we
10th
had
or the 8th?
the 8th and the 9th.
Mark did.
Yes. And I think it was important because we had to change the way these things were being developed. And a lot of it was done committee upon committee upon committee, and they're not all merged together.
Right. And I remember it would contradict some of the RPs.
Yes, it wasn't the best thing. And I'm not going to go into, but there were some people who were working for IES, said, oh, you know, somebody said, I'm getting too old to do this. And I'm there saying, oh, we got a problem here. But I think it worked very well. I thought Mark worked very hard for the two books that he did, and I think the group here did an excellent job too.
And sales? Pleased with the sales of it?
Sales, yes, they are. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
will that be your last one?
My last one? Well, if you're doing it every 10 years, I'm not planning.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think I will be planning the 11th issue.
Rita, how long has Rita been here?
Oh, it's at least, if I'm 24, she's probably 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Valerie, how many years?
About longer than me.
Oh.
She must be maybe 26 years.
So she was 16?
Say that, she'd like it.
Okay.
No, Val was my assistant when I came. And, I had problems. I had problems getting people to work. Val was on my part, no questions about it. But there were so many. Well, that's what I inherited when I got there. These people didn't do a damn thing. And I said, all right, I want to know what you do. I want the next 3 months. You're telling me what you're doing in the next 3 months. And you could have said nothing. And so I was going to say, all right, that person's going, that person's going, that person's going. And Steve Spear was then the president.
Okay.
And he said, he'd call me and he'd say, who'd you get rid of today? And I'd say, I'm not doing it that way. It's one at a time. I'm not kicking everybody out, but I'm doing it one at a time, and I'm getting the right person. Bruce.
How many years has Bruce been
Rita.
here?
Bruce has been here maybe 21 years too.
Okay. Joyce?
Joyce, right.
How many years for Joyce?
Oh, that's a good long one. So maybe it's 20.
That is amazing.
Yeah, no, but we have a lot of good people. And that makes me feel good too.
Right.
And they know what they're doing. But I said before that people, as we get smarter and smarter and we use things, we haven't really had a lot of people coming in, right? We're doing it.
Right.
We're doing it.
Right.
We have a lot more work that we're doing, but we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's complaining about it. And I really think that's important.
Yeah, think about it, sure.
Yeah.
If you look at the number of people you had 24 years ago versus today, and the productivity per person,
Right.
just
Right.
skyrocketed.
The first thing I did, there were, I think they had 25 when I went in.
25
People? Yes. And I said, out, out, out. Because those were some. I said, we don't need people.
How many do you have now?
Altogether, we basically have 21, maybe 22. So that really hasn't changed in this 25 years.
Wow.
And again, I've been working with these people for 25 years, or will be,
Right.
starting next year. You know, Val was very good, and I'd say, "Oh, Val, why don't you do this? Why don't you, take over the conferences?" I said, "I'll give you a little more money, but, do that."
Right.
And then there'd be another thing. And then when the street and area came, I said, "Val, I want to talk to you." I said, "Why don't you do this?" And she looks at me, and I said, "I'll give you more money." So, but basically, I think I have a wonderful, wonderful staff.
I think you do too.
Mm.
Okay. Anything else? Any closing comments for the industry?
I like the industry. Look, I wouldn't be here for 24 years if I didn't like the industry, and secondly, if I didn't like the people. I'm talking about the members, I'm talking about the people who are involved, the boards, etc. No, I think that's important, because that gives you, when you go in the morning, you say, "I know I'm doing this and I like what's being done." And that's, I think, is very important. There are people who simply say, "Oh, I'll go in here and we had somebody who used to close the door. I didn't know what the hell this person did in there, but that was another person." But I thought, no, I think it, I'm not offering a lot. I'm offering what I can do. And I think that's satisfactory.